Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Panther Zone. I'm Leon Brown.
I'm Zach Collins.
And I'm David Smith. Fellas, it's homecoming week, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. What that mean? Another week of PV Sports. Before we get into this week, let's go back to last week. PV women's soccer team won yesterday against Mississippi Valley. Congratulations to you girls. JoJo Bernal, scored 2 goals, and Blair Lane scored a goal of her own, which is her 6th of the year, which makes this a career high for her. So congratulations to the girls.
Oh, don't also forget they also beat Alcorn State too, 6-1.
Right. The women's volleyball team had a SWAC East roundup this past weekend. This past Sunday, they beat Alcorn State 3-2 and lost to former SWAC champions Alabama State 3-0 and Jacksonville State 3-0. Good luck to the women's and men's cross-country teams as they have their first conference championship today. So good luck to you guys. We're all rooting for you. Wish nothing but the best for y'all.
Nothing but the best.
So, obviously it's homecoming week, which means football is back. We had a bye week last week.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get into that a little bit. We're not going to get into it too much because we still got Wednesday and Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you guys expect from that?
Man, I'm looking for a win. This a big game. We playing Alcorn State. I know the past 2 years we came up short. But I feel like going into the bye week, after the loss to the Southern, I feel like the football team, they probably went in and went back to the starting board, focusing on where they need things to fix at. And I feel like going into this week, I feel good about them. I hope they can pull it off.
What do you think, Mr. Ball Player?
He had hit the nail on the head when he talks about we went back to the drawing board. A lot of things we just started over and took a different look at it, because when you take a loss like that, you have to start questioning everything from breakfast check to weights being on time, everything got scratched. So for us to get back into the swing of things of actually having a game this week, we're definitely looking forward to it. And seeming as Alcorn just beat Grambling for the first time in 6 games, I haven't beat them since 2013 as far as in the regular season. So we definitely have a tall task coming up this Saturday, and we're looking forward to it.
All right. We're going to touch more on that on Wednesday. Going to the baseball news. Tomorrow, Game 1 of the World Series starts. Red Sox versus Dodgers. Should be a good, interesting series. Dodgers starting pitching staff is number 1 in strikeouts, wins, hits, innings percentage, and ERA, while the Red Sox offense is number 1 in average and on-base percentage and slugging. Clayton Kershaw and Chris Sale are set to match up Game 1. Clayton Kershaw is not the same as he used to be, unfortunately, but he still has one of the best curveballs in all of baseball for like the past decade, while Chris Sale is one of the best pitchers, not only in the AL, but NL. I think this should be a good, interesting series. Game 1, I got the Red Sox just because they got too much.
How many games do you see this series going?
7.
You see it going all 7?
Full 7?
Okay. I would like to see how this turns out. Just how the Red Sox played the last game with their offense getting in full swing.
Right.
Definitely.
We got to see how Kershaw is coming. Will he go back to his old self then he have Cy Young?
Yeah, but it's like he's like the Peyton Manning of baseball.
Oh, he had
he's
a
good.
lot of surgeries.
Yeah, he's good during the regular season, but when it comes to the postseason, he hasn't had a win yet.
Okay, so he needs this.
He needs
for him
this.
to be claimed as one of the best pitchers ever.
Right.
I got you.
What you think, Leon?
Hey man, I feel like it's gonna go down to the last game. I feel like Dodgers can kind of pull it off. I know the Red Sox, they've been on a roll right now, so it's gonna be a competitive series. So
I'm interested to see what the Dodgers can bring offense-wise.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to commercial break real quick, but when we come back, we got the NFL, we got the NCAA, and some interesting news on the NBA. We'll be right back.
Check this out. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Getting ready, getting ready, getting ready, ready. We getting ready, getting ready, getting ready, ready. I'm getting ready, getting
And welcome back to the PV Sports Zone. This past weekend, busy NFL schedule. Jaguars and Texans faced off. I remember we talked about last Wednesday.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey versus DeAndre Hopkins. Interesting matchup.
You see how that turned out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins won the matchup.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
definitely.
Texans on a 4-game winning streak now after the 20-7 win. What you guys think is wrong with the defense? With Jaguars defense being?
They're not playing together.
Yeah.
As far as like, I would say, it's a lot of individual egos on that defense,
Definitely.
and you can see it in their play right now. Last year they all played as a defense. They played together, and you can see all 11 wanted to win for each other. They had a bond, and now you don't see it. Now it's all about me. And whenever the opposing team scores, you can see a lot of pointing fingers, and it's more about themselves right now. And I think that's where they're going wrong. And I feel also that they feel that just because they won last year, they thought that it was going to carry into the season, and that didn't happen because every year it's turnover within the NFL, and they thought it was just going to be the same thing. They felt like teams were just going to come into Jacksonville and roll over for them, and that did not happen this season. That didn't happen this past Sunday, where the Texans carried on their winning streak.
Yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu had the interception. DeAndre Hopkins won his one-on-one battle. Deshaun Watson starting to look like himself, like he played the first half of the season last year. So we're definitely looking, as far as coming out of that, out of their division, the Texans are leading right now.
Yeah.
Because Tennessee isn't playing as good as they need to be.
All right, we're gonna go to the Texans rivalry. Rivals. My fault. Cowboys versus Redskins. The winner takes the first place. Cowboys lost on a missed field goal at that.
Yeah. Heartbreaker.
That's been the theme of the season.
Yeah, for them.
Not even them, it's just field goals in general. Kickers, this is not the season of kickers. It's been missed extra points. Like
Yeah.
Justin Tucker had a 7-season streak going, and he finally missed an extra point yesterday. Like Cowboys have had their kicking woes all season. They fired Dan Bailey. This is not looking good for them. And as far as for the Redskins, we talked about them. Adrian Peterson had nearly a 100-yard rushing game. Alex Smith doesn't turn the ball over.
Yeah.
And their defense is playing together. You see, as I told you, DJ Swearinger is having a monster season. He forces a fumble on 4th and 1, and he had an almost interception with the craziest catch of the day yesterday. And he's looking forward. The Redskins aren't getting talked about enough just because Alex Smith is leaving that team. Cowboys get most of the press, and the Eagles won the Super Bowl last year, but they're winning the division, and nobody picked them to be first in the division right now. So that's something to look forward to.
One of the games I had my eye on this past weekend was the Patriots versus the Bears. Bears being a sleeper team, Michael Trubisky having an excellent year. But the Patriots beat the Bears, almost sent the game to overtime.
Yeah.
Lost. They got stopped on the 1-yard line.
The 1-yard line on the Hail Mary.
Unfortunate.
That's disheartening.
When I say that was probably one of the best passes I've probably seen this season so far. Yeah, like you said, even though they came up short to the 1-yard line. But I mean, even you can just see like how tremendous that game was for it to be that close, and then for them to almost go send the game into overtime. It was a good game. I kind of felt like the Patriots were going to go and handle business like I knew they was. But shout out to Chicago though. They definitely played their hearts out.
So you still think they're gonna make it to the playoffs?
Who, Chicago?
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean,
You can see go ahead.
No,
you can see the potential in their offense.
Yeah.
With Mitchell Trubisky is finally looking like he was worthy of that 2nd overall pick.
Yeah.
You can see all their weapons coming together. Tariq Cohen had another great game with all the touches he get. I told you, as long as they get him as long as they get him in space, he's going to be able to create damage. And Jordan Howard had a nice running game for them. So Chicago has talent on both sides of the ball.
Definitely.
It's just the thing about winning with them.
Yeah.
Mitchell Trubisky had a couple early picks, and that set them back. That's why the game is so high scoring, because their offense is potent, but he got them behind the 8 ball. That's why he had to come back. But he had an amazing touchdown run where he scrambled. I think they said it was 50 yards total.
Yeah.
And it was only 8 yards long. But you can see his athleticism all throughout the game.
Yeah.
With his scrambling ability and able to buy time within the pocket. So
And I would say without them 2 interceptions, I would say they probably would have won the
they
game.
definitely win that game without them 2 interceptions. Although quietly, Khalil Mack is starting to be injured.
Mhm.
He got hurt last week, and then this week he was banged up, so he's been quiet. The double teams are finally starting to wear him down just because
Yeah.
that's two grown NFL men hitting you every play. Eventually your body's going to break down.
Yeah.
Drew Brees is back in the news. This past weekend, he passed for his 500th touchdown, which puts him up with Brady again,
Yep.
Manning again, and Brett Favre again. And with the win against the Ravens, he now has beaten every team in the NFL. First ballot Hall of Fame.
Definitely.
I mean, I feel like this is season for him. I mean, first he break the NFL career passing yards. Then you do the passing touchdowns. I feel like definitely
He's
Hall of
definitely
Fame.
cementing his status.
Yeah.
And when you keep getting put with those names such as Favre, Manning, people that they look as far as greatest quarterbacks of all time,
And he's definitely one of them.
he's
Right.
definitely cementing himself. And it just adds to the long list of Texas high school quarterbacks that go to the NFL, and
True.
dominate the NFL.
All right, with that, let's look into the playoffs a little bit. We're halfway through the season now. It's a couple teams that looks like they're separating themselves, which would be the Chiefs, the Saints, Patriots, Rams. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about the Rams.
Yeah.
6-0 still.
Man,
7-0.
Rams. shout out to
7-0,
y'all,
yeah.
Man. Y'all definitely y'all playing.
Yeah.
It looks like
That's
their money is
surprising.
paying off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. You can definitely tell that.
And those are, you could tell, like, even though it's their first year together, they also have chemistry.
Right.
Yeah.
With, let's say, up front, you got Sue and Donald working together.
Yeah.
You got in the back end Talib and Marcus Peters working
Yeah.
together. On the offense, they drafted all those players on offense, so that's finally it's just paying off for them. They're all gelling. They're rolling at the right time. October and November is the pivotal months within the NFL
Yeah.
season
Right.
because you win those months, you're setting yourself up for playoffs. So with them starting off the month correctly, with them being 3-0, they definitely are cementing themselves as far as looking to be the number one seed within the AFC.
So do we see them
and the
going?
NFC.
Do we see them going undefeated the rest of the way?
No,
Who do they have coming up?
I don't know.
They got to play the Chiefs sometime.
Yeah.
being in the
I just don't
AFC.
see them. I don't see anybody going undefeated. But
It's
as far
possible.
as them, it's possible if they have a weaker schedule. But I don't see them going undefeated. I don't see the Chiefs losing again
Yeah, nah,
with
the
their
way
biggest
the Chiefs has
test
been
out of the
playing,
Patriots.
Yeah.
And now they have Kareem Hunt starting to run the ball.
Mhm.
And then did you see you talked about Mr. Trubisky
yeah,
throw. Patrick Mahomes has somebody hanging on
Yeah.
him that's 6'7". He stiffs arm him and throws
Man.
a 60-yard bomb for a touchdown. That
Damn.
kid is unreal,
yeah.
bro. Like
He's definitely the truth.
he's definitely cemented. He's took that offense to another level. He's took that team to another level. And with their defense, they only allowed Cincinnati, who's been scoring a lot of points. They only allowed 10 points.
10 points.
They definitely stepped up. Although they definitely need to get some help to Orlando Scandrick.
Yeah,
Because if they kept throwing the ball to A.J. Green, it was going to get ugly
yeah.
with him being a top 5 receiver.
There's some interesting news. Eric Reid being signed again to the Panthers. We all know him for his stand with
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah.
He called Malcolm Jenkins out and said he was a fraud, pretty much,
Because
for turning back on what he was standing for
Oh,
at first.
release?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think on that?
he has to look at it like every situation is different. Just because he lost his job out in San Francisco, that doesn't mean Malcolm was going to lose his job
Yeah.
in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And they allow players like Chris Long, who's a defensive end. They signed Michael Bennett, who's been outspoken about the issues within America.
Yeah.
So he's in a different organization. He has to understand that he wasn't set against the same rules as they were in San Francisco, so that's why his job wasn't in jeopardy. So I don't think he has the right to have a certain beef with Jenkins.
Well, Malcolm Jenkins did say it was time for a change, meaning like he was talking about the way they go against protest.
the way they show
yeah,
it. I get you.
but my question is, how else do you show that you're not with everything that's going on if you're not going to kneel? And there's people saying that kneeling is not that disrespectful. So how would you? What are some alternatives?
Alternatives to kneeling, they already
Yeah.
tried sitting down.
Yeah.
They tried to say that they weren't going to have the players out there during the national anthem, but the Steelers offensive lineman messed that up. But he was a veteran, so he could do. I guess they allowed him to do whatever they wanted. So for them, I don't know what else they could do besides kneel. But like I said, he was set to a different standard of rules. So, and also Malcolm Jenkins is a leader on that team, so he also has people to answer to that aren't as far as Eric Reid. But you can see the problem with the NFL where Eric Reid has a game-sealing pick, and he was a free agent for most of the summer and even into the season. So he has a talent. That just tells you that there was something bigger against him because he stood next to Kaepernick. And we all see what they're doing to Kaepernick, how they're not letting him back in the league. Although you take a kid like Cody Kessler, who had to step in for Blake Bortles, and he played atrociously. He was bad when he played in Cleveland, but he still gets these opportunities. Or you take the Derek Anderson, who played in Buffalo, who was terrible, but he still gets an opportunity because his stances are aligned with the owners in the NFL. And it's not like Colin Kaepernick, who's going to stand for what he believes in, whether you like it or not. So that's a problem within the NFL because they're putting out a product of people that doesn't need to be in the league when they're, I guess you would say, suffocating the people that need to be in the league.
What you think, Leon?
I mean, I agree with everything he says. The NFL, they have to paint this image, and that's one of the images of, Colin Kaepernick, what he's standing for, and the other athletes that's following behind him. We all know there's a lot of politics within that situation, and I think that's where the NFL, they try to stray from as far as getting, because we all know NFL, football and politics, it kind of coincides with each other. But when you have stuff like that, it doesn't cause a lot of ruckus, but that's what the NFL, they try to keep things into where it doesn't get over the top or it gets out of whelm. So, I mean, it's a lot that goes on in the NFL that we don't know, but that's just for us protecting their image.
I agree. Let's go to the college football. Busy weekend, a lot of upsets, a lot of dominant performances. First upset, Ohio State loses to Purdue.
I don't think nobody was looking for
that.
Man,
this always happens to Ohio State. They lose to Iowa.
They
lose to a team
the past 3 years.
They lose to a team that they're not supposed to lose to.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, I just want to see after this win how they're going to go into next week. How they're going to
because they got Michigan this week, and Michigan
is playing.
Yeah, they're playing.
Ball.
Yeah.
How they handle against Michigan State.
Yeah.
They made a statement, and I feel like going into this game right here, that's going to be a big game for them. Not only for Ohio State after this big loss, but how can they go back in and regroup and go into this I say pivotal game, because this also have a lot of playoff implications too as well. So. And
I feel like there's a lot of bad things stacking up against Ohio State.
Oh yeah, of course.
We didn't talk about Nick Bosa. He left the university.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, he left the university because he had an injury and he wasn't going to be back till mid-December. So he just withdrew from the university. They started off the season with the Urban Meyer suspension with 3 games, and then now they take this loss to Purdue. I don't think their mind is particularly within it.
Yeah.
I think they're focused on, like I said, they were looking ahead to the Michigan game. And on any Saturday, that can get taken away from you. So now they fall out of the top 4 and out of playoff contention, essentially because Michigan just won and that pushed them into the top 4.
Yeah.
Well, why would he leave if he got hurt? He's going to be back in December. That's bowl season.
He's a junior. He's coming out this year.
That doesn't mean he can be a free agent.
People are starting to be like more self-aware, like as you see, like people not playing in bowl games. So now his whole thing is rehabilitation.
I mean, he could have just sat out though.
Yeah, he could have, but
when and that's the thing. I'm not saying what he did is right. I'm just going to be the devil's advocate here and tell you that he's focused on his NFL career now. He's done everything he could do at Ohio State. Now, granted, if they would have made it to the playoffs, they'd have got there undefeated, and then he's not there. Now that looks bad on him.
Yeah.
But with them losing this game and putting him out of playoff contention, now they have to double back and play Michigan. You can just see the problem with that's starting to build in Ohio State.
Yeah. All right. Mississippi State last week beat Auburn. LSU beat Georgia. This week they played against each other. LSU came out with a win in Death Valley. I kind of expected that. Mississippi State offense didn't show up.
Definitely.
LSU looks like
3 picks in the first quarter.
Yeah. They're pretty much
quarterback, he
back.
couldn't get his rhythm for nothing, man. It was like LSU defense was like, we here.
Yeah.
we
And that's
we
the thing.
playing.
Fitzgerald is one of the quarterbacks that they look forward to coming
Yeah.
back into the SEC. Between him and the kid that plays at Auburn, those were two of the more tender quarterbacks that played in the
Yeah.
SEC. So they had high expectations with the new offensive coordinator. But LSU defense just continues to replace players and stack these NFL prospects
Yeah.
that they have. And you can see it with they got the number one, I think, middle linebacker in the nation with Devin White. So that was a defensive heavy game as far as me. I wasn't really enjoying it just because I was bored out of my mind.
It was interesting, but like you said, I feel like it was kind of boring. I want to see more high scoring.
And that's the thing coming into this game. Also, we got to point out how Devin White got a terrible targeting call. So now he's out of the first half of the Alabama game. So hopefully the officials will review that. And as far as for LSU, what this means for them is just they have to be ready and prepared to play Alabama this week.
They play Alabama this week.
Yeah.
They're home or away?
I believe it's home.
At LSU?
No.
At
They gotta
Alabama?
play in
Alabama,
Tuscaloosa, I think.
I think it's going to be a good defensive game like it was 11, 12, and 13.
Yeah.
I love those type of games. You ain't nothing.
Those
Nobody
games
going to
are
score.
terrible.
You don't like those games?
No,
I mean,
it's just
Dang.
like watching Big Ten football.
Yeah.
Like that's why the
That's
only team
exciting.
No, it's not
I mean, when you watch
exciting.
football, you watching
You gotta
offense.
score.
You're watching offense.
play
I like
offense.
the defense.
I play offense. I want to
I
score.
want to see somebody get hit.
The goal of the
I mean-
game is to put it in the box.
Yeah, like this
That's
is.
the goal.
Put
You
as
gotta
many points
score.
you can. Put as many
But
points you can.
and then it'll come down to the end of the game.
See,
late,
but if you
fourth
ain't
quarter.
scoring all day, you're not
You're
gonna
gonna
score
score
in
in
the
that
fourth
fourth
quarter.
Yes, you are. That's the same thing.
not.
They've been winning on.
You're not
it's
gonna
either
score
field
when you
goal
need
or
to.
touchdown.
You're not gonna score when you need to.
Just like they did, they only put up 3 points
Yes, it was
against
terrible.
LSU, but their defense
Who?
was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Mississippi State.
was playing a great defensive game.
They
That's
defense was on
fine.
the
That's
top.
SEC.
They couldn't score.
That's
That's
SEC
the
play for
problem.
you.
You gotta be able to score, and that's what I'm saying. That's the glaring issue within LSU's offense too. Is
Yeah,
how are they going to score against Alabama with this high potent offense? Although Tua is a little dinged up right now,
Yeah.
but as far as
But if Jalen Hurts gets in the game,
they're
that's,
still going to score.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's more of a question now because he's grown as a quarterback
He
this
hasn't.
season.
I don't think he's gotten his
but-
groove this whole year.
Because look, he haven't really been in.
Yeah.
he only plays
He got
garbage
in.
time.
He got in as a wide receiver. I want to say he caught a catch on the last game. I feel like his rhythm is more on the sideline, coaching.
He's turned into a coach on the field basically.
That's tough. Another big game people were looking at was Clemson and NC State. Clemson came out with a blowout win. I don't know what happened to NC State. Another upset though was Washington State against Oregon, and Washington State came out with a win, 34-20. It was College Game Day's first time being in Washington State, which brings me to another topic. They've never been to a HBCU.
Hey,
Why not come here? We got Atlanta.
That's a true fact.
Yeah,
Why not?
we got Atlanta coming up. We definitely gonna be there. Speaking to existence now.
Yes, sir.
NBA.
Man,
Let's get to the
what
fight.
Yeah,
happened to
man.
We got to get to the
Lakers,
fight
dude?
first.
Hey,
We
when you're
gotta
down
get
by
to the fight
5,
first.
you jump them.
Hey, I mean, y'all lost the battle of the game and you lost the battle of the fight.
Who?
What you mean? You ain't see that punch CP3?
CP3
Yeah,
definitely
Rondo got him.
I mean, he
Rondo's
got him
stuffing,
too,
though.
but
Rondo's
CP3 got
stuffing,
him
bro.
good 2 times. I ain't
Nah.
gonna lie.
And then we had Nipsey Hussle in the back. Ready.
Nipsey Hussle was gonna whoop Travis Scott, bro.
Man, I was not expecting that. It was a good game until
Yeah.
that happened. Overall, I knew the Rockets were gonna come out and win. I knew
Yeah.
it was.
This is definitely a series we're gonna keep paying
Yeah.
attention to as far as the season goes along.
Definitely.
Not even outside of the fight, this is looked at as a potential playoff matchup
Right.
later on in the season. So we definitely need to keep our eye on this. And he has the up on you since his
Who?
team beat you
All
this
right,
week.
0-1. That ain't nothing. It used to be a competitive matchup all the time before Lakers went downhill.
Oh yeah.
So it definitely is something we should look at. Brandon Ingram is suspended for 4 games. Chris Paul for 2.
2.
Rajon Rondo for 3 games.
He get the lightest suspension because he's ahead of the players union.
Who? Rajon Rondo?
No,
CP3.
CP3.
Oh,
That's how that goes.
I mean, this is a long season anyway, so it's not like it's gonna
Yeah.
really
It's not
hurt.
like they're really missing him, but I don't like the way that works out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Russell Westbrook came back. He has scored a double-double in his first game back, but the Thunder still lost. I think it's just going to be, the way that's looking out, it's going to be a repeat of what happened last year.
A rough season.
Personally, they should have kept Victor Oladipo. I've been telling people ever since he came out of Indiana, that dude is something nice.
Yeah.
And when he just went back to Indiana, he obviously proved it. He was good during when he was with Orlando.
Yeah.
But when he went to the Thunder, didn't really have much playing time, or didn't have like a key role on the team when they had Melo and Paul George.
And also, he gave you insight into how it looked, how he thought of himself when he was in OKC.
Right.
Because he said everything he did was scrutinized.
Yeah.
Whether he said he would think about it middle of the game, like if he turned the ball over, he'll think about a writer that'll be writing about a column about him. So that's not a mindset you want to be able to play in, and that's not a positive outlook to have. So
You can't give your best.
now that he's back in Indiana, you
Yeah.
can see why he's ultimately playing his best ball right now and starting to become an all-star player.
Trae Young dropped 35 and 11 against the Cavs. Dude's legit.
He's
Yeah.
a shooter.
I think he's legit.
Like you see a shooter, he can put up points, and that's exactly what he did.
And I
Yep.
seen some stat where him, Curry, and LeBron are the only people that have 30 points and double-digit assists.
Yeah.
Right, as a rookie.
As
Yes. So that puts him into a nice little class. But as we always talk about on this show, we need consistency in order
Yeah,
to see where he's going to
definitely.
go.
So is he up for Rookie of the Year? Season just started.
I mean, the
It's
season
game
just
3.
started, man.
I
mean,
know, but
I thought
still.
he's, I thought
You
he's,
got DeAndre Ayton, you got Mo Bamba.
I mean,
you got-
I thought he's probably up there.
He's in
like,
the top 5.
Yeah, up
He's
there.
in the top 5 of it, but I wouldn't say
Like
he's leading it.
yeah.
All right.
Stick him-
Anything else before we close out? Y'all got anything else, other stories you want to talk about?
Oh man, Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football, who's playing?
The Giants
Or
versus
is
Atlanta
Odell going
Falcons.
to score a touchdown? That's
I-
the main thing. He's
If his quarterback could throw to him.
Hey, well, we gonna see
he has
about
one
that.
touchdown in 5 games. That's the biggest problem. We're looking forward to this
Yeah.
Monday night,
Yeah.
seeing how the offense of the Giants fares this week. That's all we're looking forward to.
So who do you think is going to come out on top
The
out
Falcons.
of the NFC
Falcons.
East?
Out
No, I
of the
mean, out of,
East?
yeah,
Oh, out of the
NFC
East?
We're
East.
taking the Redskins.
Yeah.
I'm taking the
Redskins.
Redskins.
Oh yeah, Redskins all the way.
Redskins. All right. That's cool. Anything else y'all want to touch on?
That'll be.
Oh man.
All right, we'll come back then Wednesday. This is all the time we have, folks, for Sports Zone. I'm David Smith.
I'm Zach Collins.
I'm Leon Brown.
We'll see y'all Wednesday.
My hands